News 12 Connecticut's Laura DeAngelis joins us now with part 1 of her series on sexual assault in our region. It is a difficult subject, Laura.
Well, Becky and Tom, it is just a devastating crime, and it's important to remember it is a crime that targets everyone, women, men, and children. But it's also important for victims to remember they are not alone. Counselors at rape crisis centers are available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. One of those centers is in Milford. That's where we sat in on part of an intensive training program for new volunteer rape crisis counselors. Tonight, we introduce you to one woman who is living proof that the counselors and the training they receive are lifesavers.
I remember that it was October 27th. I remember going to the local haunted house where someone hit me over the head with a rock and pushed me in the bushes. I was sexually assaulted when I was 14.
That was 14 years ago, but Debbie Martinez has lived through many days where time has seemed to stand still.
I remember pain, physical pain. I remember being sexually assaulted. I remember being orally assaulted. And I remember his face. I remember thinking that I wasn't sure if I was going to make it home, and I wasn't sure if I was ever going to see my family again.
Debbie did make it home that night and found the courage to tell her mom what happened.
I remember walking to her room and crying, and just crying for an extended period of time.
Day by day, the teen's life unraveled. 18 months later, Debbie swallowed a bottle of Demerol.
I think that when you get to that point, you actually feel physical pain. And I just remember wanting it to go away and being willing to do anything to make it go away.
After her near-death experience, Debbie came here to the Rape Crisis Center of Milford.
We've dealt with victims here in the center from 3 months of age up to 82.
Open since 1974, this is the oldest rape crisis center in Connecticut.
Our very first year, I think we dealt with 7 cases of sexual abuse, and now the number is over 300.
Some staff members have been here almost from day one.
In our neighborhood, there'd been some sort of a situation with a young girl, and my heart went out to her. So I decided to do something about it.
And on this wintry March night, some southwestern Connecticut residents wanted to help as well.
I know that it took a lot of courage for you to come here.
They're taking part in a 30-hour volunteer training program to prepare them to answer a call from any victim of sexual violence 24 hours a day. Ultimately, a counselor tries to help the victim start regaining control of his or her life.
Rape is a crime of violence. It's a crime of degradation. It's where somebody wants to dominate another human being. It's not about sex.
The police will do their job, medical personnel will do their job, the courts will do their job, and a rape crisis counselor supports the victim.
That support helped Debbie become the person she is today, a wife, a mother, and since 1997, a volunteer rape crisis counselor.
Having a counselor there who you can talk to, where everything is confidential, who you can fall apart in front of, and who can praise you when you take the next step, and when you do take big strides. It's a big part of taking control of your own life back.
Debbie is also looking forward to going back to college. She starts classes before the end of the month. Meanwhile, volunteers will continue their rape crisis training in Milford through the month of April, which also happens to be Sexual Assault Awareness Month. We'll have more on the training tomorrow night in part 2 of our series. And if you'd like to learn more about the Rape Crisis Center of Milford and other resources available for victims, just go to our website, news12.com, and click on numbers and links. Becky and Tom, there is a lot of information and a lot of support out there for people who might need it.
All right, Laura, thank you.